Last week, late-night host Seth Meyers took aim at Matt Gaetz over his ridiculous claims and, of course, his loyalty, undying loyalty, really, to Donald Trump. And before we get to what Seth Meyers said, it's important to point out that this happened after that bizarre press conference they held last Tuesday, where you had Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor and Gosar basically talking about not just the horrible treatment, allegedly, of the Capitol rioters in prison, but Matt Gaetz went on his tangent about how horrible Republicans will be if they win the midterms. And it was that part of it that really set Seth Meyers off. So here is what he had to say. Their only goal is power, and they're laser focused on getting ready for the next coup after nearly pulling off the last one. Yesterday, a group of Republicans, including Matt Gaetz, even went so far as to suggest that if they win back power in 2022, they would spend most of their time trying to prove the unhinged conspiracy theory that the January 6th insurrection was actually staged by the FBI. Gaetz added that they would focus on that rather than on working with Democrats to pass legislation. All right, no one thinks you're going to legislate, but what was that about holding hands in the warm spring rain? Is that a Four Seasons lyric? Is he in the touring company of the Jersey Boys? Because that would explain the hair. So then he goes on, in addition to, mocking him for his ridiculous hairstyle. He says, the point is, these people's depravity truly knows no bounds. Trump let a deadly pandemic ravage the country, leading to mass suffering. He stoked a violent coup to overturn an election, and he personally came into contact with more than 500 people after testing positive for COVID and hiding it. And yet his sycophants in the Trump cult are still willing to do anything to get him back into power. Trump could take a dump on the Constitution and they'd say it was just a little smeared. What I love about this, in addition to the fact that it sounds like something, I would say here, is the fact that Seth Meyers has a very large audience, okay? We're talking about millions of people that watch this show. Millions of people get to hear a message that they may not otherwise have heard. Just like I talked about recently with Jimmy Kimmel taking on Lauren Boebert. It's the same thing here, and this is why this is so powerful. I'm not one of those people that's in the camp that thinks, celebrities just try to be funny. No, he was giving real world information. This was news. Real, straight, fact-based news that he was giving his audience in between jokes. That is exactly what Jon Stewart, used to do with The Daily Show. And that's why The Daily Show became a very powerful tool for progressives, for liberals, for Democrats. Now, I'm not saying that Seth Meyers needs to turn his entire show into a Democrat-supporting love fest. That's not what this is. But what he's doing is exposing the lunacy on the right. And that's the best thing we can do right now. These people are dangerous, and that is what Seth Meyers was highlighting. Donald Trump caused mass suffering in the United States. He stoked the coup. He personally came into contact with over 500 people after getting a positive COVID diagnosis, and he didn't care. The man is truly disgusting, and as Meyers pointed out, these Republicans continue to suck up to him because all they care about is power. They don't want to legislate if they take back over the House. They want to make Democrats miserable because that's all the Republican Party is today. It's a party of trolls, a party of obstructionists, a party of contrarians. They're not a party of ideas. They're not a party of serious, mature individuals. They're little Trump suck-ups who want Democrats to suffer, not just those in Congress, but all across the country. And that is what Seth Meyers was so powerfully pointing out there. This message is important. The messengers are just as important. And I encourage other late night hosts, people with these huge platforms, continue doing this because you're educating an audience that might not otherwise get this kind of information.